You guys need to stop with the League of Legends talk, because even though this is episode 6,
Yeah, you can count.
Valentine's counts as a 5.
Yeah, Valentine's counted.
Valentine's counts as a 5.
It counts.
We've made it to episode 6. We somehow did not get canceled from episode 5 of Valentine's Day, where it was a lot. But let's go ahead and introduce our guest for today, because it's my friend's fiance.
Yeah,
I have to say, I also have to say,
Whoa.
I know you as Sav's boyfriend.
No! No.
This is feminism.
This
This is feminism.
Yes.
Fuck feminism?
This is a new world.
Fuck feminism. I'm doing this the right way. We're
Looks-
doing a monster truck voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting 5 long weeks, but now, League of Legends and Overwatch come together in a way that you've never seen before. Please put your hands together for Overwatch commentary phenom, and definitely not just recognized because of his girlfriend, even though Raz and Avali seem to imply so. It's Custom!
Thank you.
Give that man his due.
You probably could have ignored that middle part, but it's fine.
I think that it's funny though, because so for those who didn't see, because probably no one watches, but I went on the Overwatch League for the mid-season madness
That was a
tournament.
fun time.
Yeah, last year.
It was. I remember the first thing you did where you came into a meeting. You're like, "Here's what we're gonna do for the week," and you had this like spreadsheet of all this random shit. You're like, on Tuesdays we're wearing onesies. On Wednesday we're wearing pink, obviously, and you just did all this stuff. And the Overwatch League was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah, let her let her go. And we did. Have you seen the gif of her like kicking me away with her foot as she eats a banana with
I have
peanut butter?
not seen that.
It's a problem.
It's so good. Yeah, so basically Scott and then my other friend who I only know because he's my other girlfriend's fiance, Johnny, Reinforce. Both of them.
He's cool.
He's fantastic. He's great. And honestly, like the fact that it was all 3 of us on that couch really, like, that sealed the deal. If it was anyone else, I feel like it wouldn't have been as fun of a vibe. But yeah, I got them in like hamster, pig onesies, all this fun stuff.
Did you ever meet Bren?
No.
So back before.
Is he the one that kind of looks like Vedius?
What?
No?
He wears glasses. He has a mustache now.
No, maybe I'm thinking of a different one. There's one Overwatch League caster that looks like Vedius.
Okay. Anyway.
Wow,
the
she
reason I
really-
brought this
she
up
really
is
said
actually
all
for
white
something
people look
much more
alike.
closely related to your own interests. Because so the last time that I went out and hung out with people back before the world shut down in 2020 with the Rona was actually with the Overwatch League guys.
We were going to get you in 2020. We got a house and we were like, oh, we're going to invite Flowers. It'll be a great time. We're like, yeah. And then the world shut
And
down.
then everything fucked up. But no, I was out drinking with Bren and Sideshow and Reinforce and a bunch of those guys. And the reason I bring this up is because after we got back from the saloon that we were at, we came back to my place. Everybody's just throwing back some beers, bullshitting some more. And Bren wants to show everybody like some stupid meme he had on his phone. Bren can't find it. Do you know why? He's sitting there going, oh, we gotta find it. It's like 5,000 volumes of JoJo. I just have to go through 5,000 images. JoJo. I really like JoJo.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
amazing.
we couldn't find this shit post because the man had to go through 5,000 pages of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like, comic.
Why
In
the
his
fuck do we have
phone?
Scott here? Why the fuck do we have Scott here?
Why? Oh, yeah, honestly, you and Bren would be a force of nature. You should invite Bren. He's going to be out this way, I think, at some point. So you should invite Bren onto this podcast.
He's a good dude.
It would,
He's a good
it'd be a good time.
Oh my god, I'm super excited because for Overwatch League, like when does it start up? Why don't you go ahead and plug your place?
Well,
of
yeah,
work?
if you're here for League of Legends, well, let me tell you about how bad that is in the Overwatch League is so much cooler and more successful. No, it's not. We're coming back. We're coming back in March, like late March for a Pro-Am. But, yeah, all that stuff. But Bren's not even on Overwatch anymore. He went to Valorant.
Oh no!
Him and the Egg went to Valorant. They don't
Valorant sucks. Another one.
Yeah.
Right? So then why didn't you go to Valorant too? I mean, Sab is literally on the product.
She
team, right?
she is on the. I don't really enjoy Valorant, which I would like to bleep out in case future opportunities come for Valorant. No, no.
Valorant?
Yeah.
Fuck Valorant.
Say, I don't like Valorant unless they'll pay me.
Unless of course, their opinions could be changed with money, of course.
Absolutely.
But no, I enjoy it, but I don't think I want to work on it. And Overwatch is kind of like my baby, regardless of how downhill we've gone in the last few years, but it's it's still fun. I still love it.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes baby a little bit longer to learn how to walk. That doesn't mean that we push baby over as soon as they take their first steps.
But that's how they learn.
Yeah.
Bro, look, I'm just saying, back in Sparta, they threw baby off a cliff.
Exactly.
And that's why you're legally not allowed to have children. There's a court order and everything. But I also wanted to point out that this is going to be, I think, our last episode in February, right?
Oh, I thought it was
okay,
going to
well,
be our
you
last
baited
episode
the
ever. I was like,
shit
damn,
out
I
of
get
us.
Monday nights back.
No, I wanted to confirm with producer Ian. Producer Ian, you haven't said anything yet.
The next episode will come out March 1st.
Yes, but this episode comes out.
This is our last day, Raz. This
Do we just
this is
say
our last
everything
Black
right now?
community.
Like
Wait,
Black Power,
This
do we
is
just
the
keep
last. It's the last
Get it out of the
episode that
way?
releases in February. Therefore,
Oh.
it's our last episode for Black History Month,
But we'll record
which
the
is why
next
we
one.
had Custa
But we'll-
on as our guest. How does it feel to be our final representative of the Black History Month?
Both parts of
It
this
feels
are
great.
equally
Honestly,
confusing.
I'm happy to happy to be.
Raz, do you,
It's not too late to leave.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I could get over the couch this way.
our first guest for Black History Month was Gina Darling,
Oh wow.
and she
True.
is a small Vietnamese woman.
Hey,
How
to
did
be
she do?
fair,
Oh, Raz, how did she do?
she did all right, you know? She represented the Black community well. And I guess, the lunar community.
The Lunar American.
I am legally not allowed to interact with these jokes.
She's a lunarian, you know?
Oh, I fucking love that.
From the moon.
Do you feel like you got everything that you needed out of February? Do you feel like this month really spoke to you?
I hate you.
Why do you hate me? I'm asking because
Every guest you've had wasn't black. Like, every single one.
To be perfectly fair, it is esports.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
who am I supposed to get? Name someone.
Aframu.
Okay, I like Zach. I do like Zach, and I want Zach.
And
on
you
the pod.
didn't
I
even
do.
send an invite.
I don't think we can afford Zach
Did you ask him?
and ask him to work for free during Black History Month.
You asked me to work for free during Black History
There we
Month.
go.
Reparations.
Oh, okay. So,
Ian, how much did he pay you?
I work for free.
There it is.
oh, it's crazy how it's all crumbling down.
This is basically a sweatshop for your own content.
If you look over Avli's right shoulder, you can see some of her bondage gear back there.
I
No,
look.
no,
I
no, no,
hide
no.
the whip marks.
No.
Bro, what?
Well, speaking of chains and whips, did you watch Rihanna's Super Bowl performance?
It was amazing.
It was good, right?
Yes.
All right. Here, I'm going to come in as devil's advocate because
Let's hear.
because it was a good performance and it reminded me how many bangers Rihanna has. Like literally one after another. But with how many bangers, it could have been like exceptional. I think it was great, but it wasn't exceptional. Like it wasn't like as good as I was hoping her comeback would be.
What else were you expecting from it?
I don't know. I like the choreography. Was good, but I think it was mainly carried by the people around her and the sperm like running around on the stage. But obviously she's pregnant. But,
Yes, what did you
like,
expect
that-
her to do?
But I guess that's the problem, and that's the
You
problem.
want that baby to be bouncing in
Yeah, I
there?
know.
That's the problem. The problem is with women being pregnant.
No, hey, do not put words
Clip it.
in my mouth. No, hey, do not clip it. If you're looking at it, do not clip it.
Okay.
But as I said, I didn't realize that going into the performance, right? So I had expectations, but obviously, congratulations, pregnant a second time.
Flowers.
I didn't watch this shit. Was people in sperm costumes?
Yeah,
Yes,
you haven't
yes.
seen the gif of the white sperm like running out.
The entire performance, correct me if I'm wrong here, it was basically like telling the fertilization of a baby.
Oh, was it?
Is that
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I assumed. I wasn't sure if that was like actually it.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so, like-
Oh, it really was her coming out on pregnancy.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, by the way. Like, when I was watching with a few of the guys, Flowers wasn't there when he was invited.
Hey, Raz, where was my invitation?
That's why I said few of the guys. No, I'm just
Your month is next month, okay?
true. Once it hits March, then you have a voice, all right?
Is Avali Irish?
I think it's Women's Month, right? I forget.
Wait, Is Ovally Irish? What does that
St.
have to
Patrick's Day. Party hard, get drunk.
It's Women's Month.
I love how that's more well
I
known.
have, I have never
That's
heard
what's
of
in
Women's
March.
Month.
That's because you don't listen to us.
There it is.
Damn deep.
I ain't touching this. Nope.
Not well. You've already
no,
you've
no,
dug
no.
deep into it.
Well,
But yes,
I'm just gonna chill here in the ditch then.
So-
and we're gonna wait it out.
I was watching the Super Bowl, enjoying it with like Dash and everybody, and Kobe and all that. And yeah, I fired off a tweet. I was like, that baby coming out deaf as hell. But yeah, Flowers didn't come. He was invited.
Damn.
I was otherwise occupied.
Explain why you didn't come. What were you occupied doing?
No, dude. I was otherwise occupied.
What were you doing, Flowers?
Otherwise occupied.
No, it's actually not even that.
My man
I
was fucking, okay?
Look, I woke up that morning. I couldn't sleep much more. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I would have liked to sleep more.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, dude, I'll play some Path of Exile. And then I killed myself in the dumbest way possible on a boss that I've cleared 90 bajillion times. And I was like 80% of the way to level 99, which is a lot of progress. You lose 10% EXP every time you die. That's multiple hours of farming
Yes.
at this level. And I was just instantly pissed at myself. I was like, I don't actually care about the Super Bowl. It's just something to do.
Yes.
I really care about Path of Exile. And if I go to a Super Bowl party, this is the only thing that I will think about. I'm just going to stay here all day and do this instead. So I went to the store and I got myself some Modelos. And I sat in my room fucking throwing back Modelos, grinding on Path of Exile. And I'll tell you what, I started that day at 80% EXP, immediately plummeted down to 70, finished that motherfucker at 88.
Bang.
You literally described why my relationship fell apart.
Well, I'll have you know I hit level 99.
Bang.
Big.
Just like that. Just like
That was worth it right there.
My man said, I've been cheated and I'm going to fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to destroy it.
It is a 4.9% global DPS increase to go from 98 to 99.
Do you play Path of Exile?
I have in the past. I've never been. Never to this level.
But you've stopped playing, right?
Yeah, you know, I took a step back at some point. I was like, you know, maybe I should go to the Super Bowl. And then
So what stopped you from playing PoE?
A girlfriend, right?
well, yeah, you know, no, actually, here's the thing. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm
Okay.
with you. I love grinding games. I love just I'm a World of Warcraft gamer, so
Yeah.
I'm just a
Okay.
degenerate in that way. But I don't know, like it's just gets to an extreme point. Like once you get to, you know, max level, you clear it, you start doing
Yeah.
maps. Once you get to around like maps 10 maps and stuff like that, well, this is old stuff. I would just like you hit a wall of like
Yeah.
progression.
Oh, yeah.
And-
And you have to climb vertically to
Yeah.
get past the wall.
And it just takes hours and hours and hours.
yeah.
And that's usually where I'm like, nah, I'm done. And I just give up. But I've never even got close to 99. I like 60, 70.
See, because he's the grind lord. For me, the game I've gotten close to that is literally Maple Story. Back before the Big Bang point where it's like you grind endlessly. Most of the missions are like, get 200 snail shells. And they're just the most fucking rare. They're just
that shit.
Yes. And this is most rare shit. So you're like, okay, it's been an hour. I've gotten 5. Or something like that.
And you're forgetting that there's also 20 other people in that same
Yes.
zone.
In
the instance.
Also trying to fight for it.
Also doing it, and there's one guy that's a piece of shit vacking the entire time hacking. You're like, okay, well, I got to go to the next channel. And then, of course, if you die, because if you get a little bit greedy, you're like, okay, my potions are done, but I can be here for like 5 more minutes. You die, and you're like, I've lost 2 hours or 3 hours of just straight EXP.
Did that game also have EXP penalty? I played it a little bit back, like freshman year of college. I didn't play Maple Story extensively, so I don't remember.
Only
that
if you
EXP
die. So if you die, you
Yeah.
lose EXP, and that's pretty much all it is.
Yeah.
The one thing that I remember is like you're talking about snail shells.
Yeah.
The one that I specifically remember from Maple Story was it was some like very bizarre sort of like city area where most of the game feels more fantasy like. Yeah. And the enemies were these weird robot things, and the thing that they dropped was a CD.
Ouroboros?
Ludibrium?
Yeah,
I think it's
Yeah.
Ludi, which
I
is just
mean,
like a fucking...
I don't know what the fuck any of
They're
it
all
is.
toys.
But,
they're all
but
toys.
yeah, but they dropped CDs, and you had to fucking collect all of
Yes,
them to
yes.
do this one dumbass quest, and they didn't want to drop the CDs very much.
Yeah.
And so I remember just sitting there in my fucking freshman, sophomore, whatever it was, college dorm, banging out Four Locos, just waiting for the parties to start that night, just being like, come on, give me a CD, you fucking asshole. like just having the best time of my life.
And the
dude.
grinding is not like, it's not as if it's like, okay, I just have to do this combo. Just blah, blah, blah. No, you're like, no, I'm going to press like W 50,000 times.
Yes.
Because I'm an Ice
That's
Lightning
true
main.
grinding.
And I'm literally
Exactly.
just lightning. I'm just like, that's it. That is my grind. Oh, mana potion. Lightning.
Yup. For
Dude,
hours listening
yes.
to Nightcore.
That's what
coming
Path of
back.
Exile is. You throw your spectral shield into everything over and over and over again. When you get to a boss, you throw your tornado / hydrosphere thing that makes your shield bounce back and forth on him and just like bang his brains out.
Yep.
And then you just go into the next map and you start throwing your shield again.
As we're talking about older games, one thing I want to point out was that I made a tweet a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
And on my tweet, I'm basically asking like, hey, where are my Age of Empires 2 fans? Because I'm putting together like a little project, right?
You never got back to me about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you weren't chosen.
Oh.
Sorry.
Kind of fucked up. Oh, I love this. I love this music.
Did you ever... What instrument are you playing? Because a trumpet, it's only one hand.
I dual wield it.
You
True.
dual wield the trumpet, but there's only
It's
3
two
keys.
trumpets at once. The second one's plugged into the first trumpet.
It's an extra big saxophone. You just gotta.
The trumpets are Dutch ruddering.
Is that what's the saxophone doing, Rez? But you were popping off about Age of Empires.
Yeah,
So like I feel like with old RTS games, people were either I'm StarCraft Brood Wars, or they're like super into Age of Empires. So which one were you?
I was Age of Empires. I never really played much like early StarCraft.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I didn't really play like the old school like style of like I didn't ever play the campaign. What me and my friends did, we got like 3 laptops, like the shittiest laptops you can imagine, put them together in a router, and then we would play against the 5 hardest bots that you can play in Age of Empires.
Oh, yeah.
And you build walls, and they don't really attack the walls. They just sort of
They're
get
pretty
stuck there.
stupid, yeah.
Yeah, they're really stupid, but they have just an endless amount of things. So then it's like a 4-hour grind of getting big enough to have an army that actually walks out and kill them. And it was a good time.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, the hardest AI on Age of Empires, like it was either 4 or 5 difficulties, but whatever it was, the last difficulty is identical to the penultimate one. However, it gets double of everything.
Yeah.
Every resource that it harvests, it just gets twice as much as you get.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, your villagers at a baseline, when they mine gold or mine stone, they return 10 back to the. They mine 1 at a time and then they return 10.
Yeah.
Their villagers just mine 2 and return 20. And so they naturally just get to the point where by the time you're sort of stabilizing yourself and being able to decide what you want to do, they're attacking you with actual units.
Yeah, like
because they just have more
tier
resources.
units and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like the only way you can actually beat them is because they're stupid, right? They don't break
you
your
abuse
wall.
the fact that they're dumb because
Yeah, yeah.
they're cheating by having more resources. You're cheating by being a person.
Or by using the code, how do you turn this thing on?
Well, no, that's just cheating. Yeah, were you one of those people that just played the game and cheated every
you can't
time?
just use the Cobra for everything.
In my defense, I was like 6.
Yeah, that's fair.
When I was 6, I had honor.
Oh, I didn't have honor
When I
for
was
quite some
6,
time.
I had to get back at my dad somehow, and it just happened to be multiplayer
Did your
Age
dad
of
have a
Empires
Cobra?
2. What?
Did your dad have a Cobra?
Cobra?
That's the name of that blue car with the white stripe.
No, he just didn't know what the cheat codes were. So whenever we'd play against each other, I'd come in with an army of cars.
Wait, you beat him by cheating in
Yeah,
general?
but he didn't know that.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I'm sure an adult man didn't realize that
Wow.
the cars in a medieval fighting game are a cheat code.
yeah, no.
Do guys listen? I was always under the impression from media that guys had weird relationships with their dads where they're competitive. Am I wrong?
I had it with my brothers, not with my dad.
Brother? No? Does everyone have a good relationship with their dad here?
I have a good relationship with my
same.
dad, but when it came to like political discussions, because there was always news on TV, he just did not like being wrong.
Okay, so when you-
like for a long time, he always had the context and everything. He would be like, "No, but until you do not understand." And then after a certain period of time, where I'm like, "No, I'm telling you how this conflict has been," he's like, he just ends the conversation. Like, so that's the only competition. Other than that, he's not really. He doesn't really do anything else. I'm not gonna lie. But I have a good relationship with him. I don't know about you.
So Scott, tell us more about Overwatch League. When you kind of entered the scene, this isn't an esports podcast, and yet we always have esports people on here. What year did you enter Overwatch League?
I played in 2018.
I forgot you were a player.
I
Oh,
was waiting for you to introduce this as like a theme. I didn't want to step on your toes and like fuck up your theme.
She always forgets. Literally, we were in the Overwatch League on the desk, and she's like, "Wait, you were a player?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of why."
That's the entire.
That was the bit that
my
we were doing
shtick.
for that full week, and I forgot.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Not
Yeah.
a real friend right here.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm not her real friend. I'm Sab's fiance.
One person in this room who's met him in real life before this
Yeah.
this podcast recording. You're also like the one person who doesn't know.
Forgets everything.
So
I have
Scott, did you
literally-
win?
Are you winning?
Are you winning, son?
I was alright. We won like a stage or something like that. We came like third. I don't know, kinda. I was alright.
good.
Yeah,
That's
I was
pretty
alright.
nice.
Like in esports careers, I did probably better than average.
There it
but
is.
like it was alright. Nothing
was
crazy.
cool.
So
I'm trying to think of like who the big names were from Overwatch League to relate to League. Although Guma Yusi didn't they go over to Overwatch League for a point? Am I thinking of the wrong Guma?
Gamsu.
Gamsu.
Yeah,
Gamsu,
Guma Yushi
oh
did not.
my
Guma Yushi's
God.
like 16,
I,
bro.
I
Yeah.
thought the G, and that's what I got.
Yeah, we got the G.
The G.
Yeah.
Listen, I forgot he was a player.
Who? Me? Oh yeah. Me too. Apparently.
Wait. I don't know if I want to tell the story or not.
Tell it. Tell
Oh,
it.
okay,
no,
yeah,
it's
no,
over.
just then.
We
Hey,
can edit it out.
you can edit
We're
it
not
out.
doing a live
Yeah.
episode
Yep.
anymore.
All right, okay, I'll tell the story.
I'm ready. Here's the tea.
So I was approached to join Overwatch League on the broadcast team.
2018, like early on.
Yes, this was
Okay.
2018. Like either the end of 2017 or beginning of 2018 when they
Probably,
were doing
first year. Yeah.
kind of like calling people out and everything.
This is back when you were full time with Riot, right?
No, this is when I was still I was not contracted to anything yet. So that's why I'm
Okay,
taking
because I know
these.
2018 was when you were full. with them.
2018. So I signed on with Riot 2018 in like February.
Okay, so
Yeah.
but this was before that.
This is
Okay,
before
I'm
that.
trying
Yeah.
to get my timeline straight.
So this is probably like end of 2017, beginning
Yeah,
of
yeah.
2018, because I think Overwatch League saw me doing Yahoo stuff with Travis Gafford, and then eventually stuff with the LCS. So I get approached, and they invite me on to the the Burbank studios where they had the Overwatch League.
where they did the run. Yeah.
Yeah, and so one of their guys is like showing me around and everything, and he's like, "Yeah, we really want to have like really cool people on the casting desk or as caster, like anything, right? We really care about content, and we really like you." And then he starts going on kind of like this tangent,
Oh.
and he starts going, "Yeah, one thing that we really love about Overwatch is that their cast is so diverse and filled with so many
Oh.
amazing people with different backgrounds and everything.
Yeah.
And we really want our casting team to represent that. And you're half Asian or something, right?"
Wait,
That's beautiful.
Wait, he literally just wants you as a token?
That's
That's
beautiful.
his whole pitch?
I love that.
And I'm like, "Sir? I'm sorry,
That's
are you just
great.
looking at me because I've got a tint of color in me and I
Yep.
have a vagina?"
Yep.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't thinking of going to Overwatch League anyways because LCS was like, my passion and my
Yeah.
goal. But then for that, absolutely for sure, I'm like, goodbye." It
2
looks like
check
I made
marks
the
right there.
decision.
We gotta leave that in the episode.
Yeah. No.
That's like.
no names were dropped. Leave it.
Yeah.
It's-
Exactly.
Screw it.
But I mean, like, you can't say anything back then.
No.
Because then otherwise, like what? I just called out someone from the Overwatch League who made a potentially innocent remark, just saying that they appreciated my heritage.
Yep.
When it's like,
I appreciate the diversity that you have.
come on. Come
diversity.
on. But
I've got a.
you got one?
Oh no. Oh, we're just digging.
Well, nothing. Okay, this is back when I was doing hiring, or at least a part of the hiring process in the LPL, actually.
Okay.
Oh, you told me this one. Go
I'm
ahead.
ready for this.
Go
This is
ahead.
good. Okay,
Go
okay,
ahead.
okay. So this was back when I was doing hiring for LPL. This is at a time where I was like, okay, had caster development in the LPL at the period of time, and we had just let go of a few people, and so we wanted to increase our headcount, just like have a few more people that can take their place, and that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, sweet. So we're looking for, I think it was a color caster. But then my boss, who is, I won't say names, but he's like basically head of LPL, including China at the time, like the Chinese broadcast. And he was like, "Oh, Raz, if you could find somebody who like, just like a girl for the broadcast," because he initially came in as like, "Yeah, we lost Frosk, which is rough, and if we could have like that inclusion, like that's what my mind." He said, "Look, we lost Frosk. If we could have someone else, like that'd make a
Okay.
lot of sense." I was like, "Okay, that's understandable." In my mind, I was like, I don't know who to look for in the scene right now, but that sounds good to me. And then it started changing. He was like, oh, even if we couldn't find like a play-by-play, we could find a color caster or a host. And in my mind, is like, we don't need a host. Like, what's going on here? And then it turns into just skipping on forward. Basically, the idea when he started explaining it to me, it was like, oh, it's because in the Chinese broadcast, like, there's an increase in viewership when there's like a pretty lady in the screen. So we want an increase in viewership for that as well. And that was his mentality. I was like, that is crazy. I'm pretty sure that is as sexist as possible. As possible. I was outraged. I was like, look, if there's somebody who is like great in the scene, then like absolutely we should have like I should interview them and like we should get them through the doors. But I was like, I'm sorry, that is not how we should be doing this. So there is like a lot of pushback there, and he ultimately conceded. But I was like, Jesus Christ, that was the conversation. So in short, yep, he was looking for, like in your case, looking to check off some boxes.
Yeah.
But in his case, it was like, yeah, the viewership. That's it works in China, so it's gonna work for us.
And did it work?
Well, we didn't end up finding anybody.
But they had you on the broadcast.
That's true. And the viewership got lower.
Oh, no!
It did increase slightly.
Slightly. When you started twerking, right?
Yes. Well, actually, yes. I'm just going to say yes.
There are so many amazing gifs of Raz. I feel like it's maybe at international events or maybe it's LPL. Which one's the one where you take the suit jacket off?
Ooh,
and you start
2017.
shimmying?
2017, the
So
context of this was regional finals. The team that wins game 5 of this, because it goes to the full best of 5, goes to Worlds. And I was, at this point, upset because I thought it was going to be a 3-0. I started that day just completely dehydrated. Like, the night before we went to Hot Pot, and that was the first Hot Pot I've ever been to, and my stomach said, no, you're rejecting all of this in the morning. So I was like, oh, I'm destroyed. I'm fucked. I have a cast today. So we go through the full 5 games. Nothing. I was holding nothing in my stomach. And so by the 5th game, I was like, I need to get some energy through me at some point, right? So I started like moving and dancing to the music. My producer's like, this is perfect. Get him on camera. So it's just me dancing.
That's what that was?
Yes. And I was looking directly at Rusty, who was my co-caster at the time. But my cameraman did not want to add him into the shot, so it's just me dancing and looking at somebody pointing at someone off camera. And so the 5th game was fun, but was even more better is like getting back home, or at least in the hotel room, and sleeping and like just getting that shit out of my system.
Dude, I feel like a good cameraman is so undervalued within like production or anything. Oh,
Don't point at me.
Pointing
She
at
said good, okay?
like my favorite cameraman probably besides Ian, of course.
Of course.
You guys have seen Charlie at LCS.
Is Charlie the brother? Oh, I know
I was
Charlie.
gonna say,
We love Charlie.
the only black guy.
Yeah, we love Charlie. Charlie was at
Charlie-
G4. Charlie
you met
was.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie shot at
we all love
G4.
Charlie.
Yeah.
He was at G4.
Yeah.
He was at G4.
There's just a thing where you know that I'm a very like
Oh, yeah.
all over the place person. The dedication that a cameraman can have for when I hit the ground, he hits the ground too. That makes the entire show so much better because sometimes like there's a difference between, okay, I'm just going to tilt down and she's on the floor now, and like getting to my level and seeing me like try to crawl through shit. Like
Yep.
Charlie is the guy who runs on the Maury show.
Yes.
Right?
Follow the guy
Oh,
running
true.
down.
Yes.
You are not the father. Yeah, I told you that. I told you motherfuckers. I ain't never fucked her. Let's go.
I do also want to point out, I want Scott to talk a little bit more.
Oh, no.
Because no, I gotta tell this anecdotally. Raz and Flowers came in a little bit late today.
No, we came early.
Define early.
Earlier than usual.
Okay, so usually we're expected to be here about 25, 30 minutes late. We were here.
No. I am not expecting you to come 25, 30 minutes late. I'm expecting you to act like professionals. So
This
if I
is
give
an
you the call
awfully
time of 6
problem.
p.m.
Stop the
In
cap.
the world of reality,
Stop the
we're
cap.
expected to be here around 25 to 30 minutes late. We got here about 9 minutes late, which puts us, what is that? 16 to 21 minutes ahead of time.
Net positive.
So we actually did a really good job tonight, and I'm a little bit distraught that you don't recognize that. I
Your
feel
call
underappreciated.
time is 5:30 now.
Oh!
Yeah.
Raz, I don't know about you, but I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything either. I'm a little bit hard of hearing.
Yep. I think you know the way we restore our hearing?
What?
We make sure we play more video games from 5 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.
I like this.
to guarantee that we have audio fidelity inside of our esophageal tubes or whatever's in your ear.
See, the esophageal tubes that will allow us to hear better. So I think by the time it's like 5:30 to 6 p.m., we're just gonna cram as much video game as
We
possible.
just video game, and then we get here at 6:09 like gentlemen.
I like this.
Yeah, basically what I was going to say was that Scott and I were having such a nice conversation, and then Raz and Flowers bust in through the front door. Thresh is terrified. He has no idea what's going on. And then, Scott, I feel like they scared you. Did they terrify you at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know where you're going with this, but I'll just follow the thread. Yeah, I was horrified.
Yes,
Okay,
and?
And I was scared. Yeah, I was terrified. And I don't know where you're gonna get.
So improv
Okay.
tip for you,
Okay,
just
yeah.
for a second,
Uh-oh.
because I took a singular improv class.
A single one.
Yeah,
Professional,
Singular
okay.
improv
Yeah.
class, just letting you know.
Good job.
And failed.
In what was supposed to be my writer's room.
Oh yeah, you lost your room for that. That's
Oh my
hilarious.
god. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad. I forgot where I was going with this.
You
What
took
are
a
you
class.
doing?
I'm taking an image of.
Oh, a thresh.
He's getting a picture of the dog.
Yeah.
So you guys can't see. Maybe Ian. I think we need a thresh camera in the future because.
Yeah.
I just took a single shot, but we'll get it.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Ooh, that's
he's
perfect.
running in his dreams right now.
Oh.
Scott, you have like a bunch of pets though, right?
Yeah, we have 3 cats.
Whoa!
Yeah. No, I had 2, and then Sab had 1. And so
Okay.
when we moved in together, it's just it's a nightmare.
Did they get along at all?
So, funnily enough, my 2 cats hate each other.
Wait, what?
So I got a cat when in 2018 when I was a player. Obviously, just write that down.
yeah, exactly, on the
so
notes.
I got a cat, and it was just like I was like, oh, it's lonely. It seems just really depressed, but it was really anxious.
Yeah.
So when I got another cat, it got really fucking anxious, and they just do not get along. But yeah, no, Sab's cat's really nice. The third one, but yeah, I have tons of pets.
What happened when the third cat got added in?
Well, see, it was fortunate because the third cat was a kitten.
Okay.
And you know, cats are generally, well, pets in general, are generally a lot nicer to younger, cats. So Salem just gets away with everything.
Okay,
She's a
that makes
princess.
sense. That makes sense. That's good.
Aw.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I feel like it's the like older child, middle child, younger child also
yeah.
applies to like pets and stuff. So I had Thresh, and Thresh was lonely. So I'm like, I'm gonna get Thresh a foster brother.
Okay.
And I bring in foster brother Bucci.
Aw.
And he's this little bundle of joy. But Bucci also had separation anxiety. Separation anxiety that was so bad that he's howling and crying as I'm leaving the house to go to the grocery store, and I leave him alone. His howling and crying scared Thresh, who has separation anxiety, and Thresh decided to jump out the window.
Holy fuck! What?
But not before he took a shit and then jumped out the window.
Dude, Ovally, your dogs need like Chad classes or something. This is like, look, I'm not trying to like give people shit for like, struggling to deal with certain things, but these dogs need to nut up. Like, this is what the hell is going on over here? Dude, he heard a loud noise, shit on the floor, and jumped out the window.
It's usually the opposite. It's usually you're jumping out the window and then taking a shit. Like that.
Are you crying right now?
Yes. The mental imagery is too good.
I have a picture that I'll show you later. I'll post the picture on the Patreon, which everyone can subscribe to right now at patreon.com/casterscouch. You can subscribe for as little as $5 a month or as much as $100 a month. What will you receive in return? Absolutely nothing at the moment. Maybe we'll
Don't-
post Raz
picture of
feet
Thresh.
pics.
Don't pay that $100 one. Like, if you pay the $100 one, we're probably just gonna make jokes about it. Like, don't do that shit. Like,
And with that being said, Flowers will be buying all of his own dinners after we record our episodes
We're
from now
watching
on.
MILF Manor at the
We're
end of this.
watching one episode of MILF Manor.
If you pay $100, you can be our next guest.
Although, would you guys watch MILF Manor for Patreon?
yeah, because we'd do that anyway.
We would do that.
So say that into the microphone.
Yeah, because we would do that anyway.
No. like a fucking adult.
We
Why
almost
don't-
got a
can you-
goddamn
can you
promo.
We're getting
Demonstrate
close.
how to give a promo.
Yeah. We're gonna watch MILF Manor on the Patreon if you donate $100.
Bang.
What's a Patreon?
I don't know. I sort of
said-
fucked it up in the
Hey,
middle.
hey,
I
you,
say that as well, and I also get shit for it. It's not a real word.
Yeah, Patreon's not a real
Who
word.
the fuck
Hey,
determines how it's
wouldn't it
pronounced?
be
wait.
patron?
I think I'm just noticing right now that Scott has an accent.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't realize prior to this that I'm not from this country?
Where are you born?
Like, where are you from?
No, like where are you from?
I'm like from Australia.
Oh my
Australia.
God.
Australia, mate.
Australia, mate.
Yeah.
Do you
Hello there,
know
mate.
Rusty?
No.
Do you know?
You just think that Australian people all know each other because
Do
they're
you
on
know
an island?
pastry time?
No.
Do you know Spawn?
Yeah, I do.
It only took 3 Australians. So we got there.
Only 3 shows, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah. That's cool. Wait, so did you move out here for esports? Like you were picked up while you were playing in Australia?
No. So when Overwatch was coming out in like 2015, I was doing university.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, this shit sucks. So I was like, Overwatch is coming out. You're not going to make it in Australia. It's so far away. Like, it's so hard to get imported anywhere. So I was like, I'm just going to move to North America. So I moved to Canada and lived in Vancouver. Mattress on the Floor in 2016. Ended up going pro with Fnatic, signed by Fnatic, and ended up going to the Overwatch League.
Oh my
That's
god.
living the dream.
Wait,
Yeah.
what city in Australia did you live in?
Adelaide. So
Okay.
South Australia, Southern State.
Okay, that's interesting. That's
Adelaide?
Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Adelaide. Isn't that the name of the bird in Over the Garden Wall?
No one understands that
I
reference.
don't know what you just said.
This seems like one of those.
Potatoes and molasses. No?
Is this one of those 50 Shades of
This shit
Grays?
sounds like ass.
Is this hentai? Like, what is that?
No. It's very cute. It's got whatever.
Is this the girl that spins the leak?
No, that's Miku.
That's Hatsune.
That's Hatsune
yeah,
Miku.
Calm down.
But I think that's also a good segue to something else that I wanted to ask Scott about.
Uh-oh.
Did you know that this man does the most bomb-ass cosplays?
You cosplayer, bro?
Yeah.
Send us a
pretty
pic.
cool.
You should see my Mercy one. I shaved my legs for it.
Oh my
That was
god.
commitment. Wait.
Mercy, the healer chick from Overwatch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I looked hot. I'm just saying. The funniest
He
thing
does.
is after the stream, I looked like I'd been out on the night. Like my eyeliner was like rubbed over my. Because I did my makeup. My eyeliner's over my thing. I just looked trash. My wig's falling off, and I'm like, I'm fucking done with Overwatch. Get me out of here. Because it was also a drinking stream, and I did a shoey on it.
Oh
because,
my
So you look like you're coming home
God.
from the club at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just
Just-
partying your heart out.
Yeah, Mercy had a bad day that day, but yeah. It was fun.
Heroes sometimes die.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think we tried to get you to wear it for the mid-season madness. didn't
Yeah,
we?
no, you tried to sell me on that one as well. It didn't get
Really
through, yeah.
tried. I
Couldn't win them all.
I really tried. Is Hex still working Overwatch League?
Yeah, he's still working Overwatch League, still,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
living a nightmare within his own world.
So Hex is a producer on Overwatch League. Let me correct that. Hex is the producer.
The only producer.
on the Overwatch
Y'all
League.
got one producer.
We have one. He calls the show. He writes the show. He does everything with the show. We have one guy that makes it go.
Oh my god.
Bobby
He's-
Kotick, what the fuck are you doing,
Bro,
man?
you're asking the right question.
Bobby Cockdick.
Keeping all the money. What do you mean?
You got one dude?
Oh, and Blizzard is doing the whole return to office thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
like
I
one
saw
of
an
those.
article about that.
It's like one of those Ovally invitationals where she's just doing literally everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant that in a bad way at first, and I was gonna reach over and slap you.
The Oddly Invitationals are the greatest thing to work with because all you do is you get a few fucking stupid emails. You just don't read those. But then you read whenever she sends you the message. It's like, hey, show up on the 10th. And
Yep.
you show up on the 10th and say, what are we doing?
Yeah,
And then you
that's
just
the
have
classic.
Yeah, you just have a good time.
Everybody who
Oddly
comes through the
Invitationals
door,
are awesome.
everybody who comes through the door shows up at the time she says, like, what are we doing? It's like, did you not read the email / Discord message? And they're like, no.
Bro, that was like a 12-page PowerPoint. I didn't read them in college. I'm not reading them now, but I'm here to help.
Do you also have abusive people within the Overwatch
Oh, of
League?
course. Isn't that just esports in general? Just having abusive people around you.
These are too much. These are too much. I'd like to write Twitlongers on the both of them.
Uh-oh.
Does not read my emails or messages. Won't listen to me outside of the month of March.
You know what interaction that would get?
Dude, I will
Negative
party with
likes.
you.
Negative likes?
I
No.
will party with you on St. Patrick's Day.
I'm not Irish.
Neither am I.
I'm German.
Then what? Then why are you
German?
talking about
And
the month of
Japanese.
March?
That's a weird.
Axis
I
powers,
know.
baby.
I'm an Axis power baby.
Wait. GJ, good job.
So
German, Japanese, GJ, good job.
good job.
WWII, World War II.
So where's the Italian in
Living
you?
in the past.
So, Raz, what are we doing with your hair? What's going on, bro?
Oh,
yeah, Raz was telling us something in the Discord earlier today when Avali asked for ideas. Raz said something about his hair. He said, "Goodbye Afro," like the famous song "Goodbye
Afro Moo?
Horses." I actually had it stuck in my head all afternoon because of the comment. But now he arrived.
Is there a plan? What's
There's
going
still
on?
an Afro here.
So on Wednesday, I'm doing a double whammy. I'm going to the barber to like cut the sides low, and then I'm just gonna be doing cornrows in the front.
Hey,
There it is. So me and Ian.
Let's go. That'll look fucking cool, dude.
Now it actually makes sense when the fan comes up to you and says,
Oh,
Raz,
I'm just gonna follow you around now, just to fuck with people.
that'd be good.
So that's what.
Oh,
So are you like you are going to look like Ian's hair, like with the fade on the side and then the rose on top?
that's
or are you doing
literally
something
it.
different?
Actually, so I had that hair like in off season.
I
People
saw.
probably wouldn't have
Yeah, it was
noticed.
really cool, dude.
Yeah, I was trying it out because like in off season, I was like, I'm gonna try and do stuff with my hair. I'm either because I don't want to cut it, though. I'll have like random urges when I wake up in the morning and be like, "Fuck my hair! I'm gonna chop it all off." That doesn't happen. One time, literally last month, I go to the barber with the full intent to cut it off because I hate the maintenance. And then when I'm on the chair and he asks, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Fuck, keep the top the same. Keep the top the same. Trim the sides." I was like, I'm not. I took so long to actually get this the hair as large as it is. Right now, it's not that large because it's curly as hell. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back to cornrows, faded sides, and this time I'll maintain it. The first time I did it, I fucked up.
They're hard to maintain.
Yeah, like,
it's
how-
a lot of work.
It takes time. I actually I'm a newbie. You know more, much more than I do. Okay.
Ian, can you please give us the maintenance guide for cornrows right now for the stream?
The audience is mostly white people. I don't think I can do that.
You know what, Ian? I think it's time for
Trade
education.
secrets.
Education for the last week of February.
The key, you're definitely going to want to wear a do-rag when you sleep.
Yeah.
Silk pillow, something like that.
Yeah.
If you get flyaways, you're going to want to trim them.
Mhm.
But mousse and dry shampoo will be your friends.
Okay. Mousse and dry shampoo. I don't
But
know.
not often. Like, wait the whole first week, do nothing.
Yeah.
And then around day 8 or 9, think about a little bit of something.
Yeah.
But don't go crazy.
That makes sense. See, because like funny enough, when I first like got the cornrows, I thought do-rags were just like a stylistic choice for people. I was like, oh, this is just basically a hat. And I was like, just saw a lot of people in the black community wearing a do-rag. I was like, I guess that's the style, man. I was like, the first time I fucking saw a do-rag was like, I'm pretty sure it was like in a rap song or something. I was it was like a Tupac music video. Yeah. I was like, I guess this is his choice. Now it's like, no, it's a necessity. I need this. So I have my first do-rags. I'm 30 fucking years old. Basically a child.
You love to see it.
after this.
You love to see it. It's about personal growth.
It's correct.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
So proud of you. So Flowers, when are you getting your cornrows?
No. No,
Are you
not
sure?
When we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, we'll braid Flowers' hair.
True.
When am I shaving your head?
We could do that. Although, can't do it during Black History Month because white dudes
True.
with shaved heads a certain connotation to them.
Oh my.
And I remember back when I was when I was a teenager and I would go out and I would work with like my dad, like helping him do like the mulching stuff in the summer and whatever. You know, you just go out in shitty jeans and like a white tank top. And it's hot as hell in Ohio summer. Like heat index is always triple digits. Usually the raw temperature is also triple digits. It's bullshit. So my dad would always just like buzz my head off. And I still remember one of the days where my mom was like, "Oh, I hate when your dad shaves your head like that." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "'Cause you're wearing the jeans and that stupid shirt, and you look like one of them skinheads that just got out of prison." And
Thanks, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Love you.
I will. This reminds me of my high school friendships. Like in high school, I had one friend, and we hung out at lunch a lot. And he was bald, He is like a big, burly, bald white guy, and he just had like he was one of those types where like if he gets any emotional change, he's just going beet red, and like,
Okay.
and he also has like that indentation, you know, where it's like his eyes are shadowy because his like eyes like are forward out. I don't know how to explain it. Like his eyebrows are.
He has a
fucking out.
prominent
Caveman.
brow.
Yeah.
Yes, a prominent
Caveman.
brow. So it's shadowy eyes. He looks like a fucking villain. And so people, every friend I know would just say, Raz, why you hanging out with a skinhead? But they're friends too. They're just fucking with him. But he's just get pissed every time. And so he just turned beet red and angry, and it would not help his case. So, yeah, that was.
Why do you hang out with this?
Oh my.
I was like, fuck me, man.
So Scott, what's your related story?
What do you mean? I don't know how to touch this.
Scott's like, I don't know how you guys roll in the League of Legends scene, but Overwatch League is diverse and wholesome.
Yeah, you heard about that producer you
yeah.
talked to early on.
Yeah.
See, we try our best.
Oh my god.
Percent
there-
biased.
Is there Overwatch League content out there right now? Like,
No,
in
we
the
don't make
same-
content in the
You guys don't
off-season.
make content. There's
I
nothing.
wish I was fucking
like
joking.
us.
Yeah, I wish I was
One
joking.
of us.
Yeah, like,
One of
wait,
us.
okay.
One
Don't
of
get me
us.
wrong. It's actually been kind of nice seeing the LCS have the issues they're having because it's like, hey, see, there's other people in the esports space who are like downsizing from where we once were.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but yeah, we don't really like the Overwatch League doesn't really run in the off season.
We're all
which is
together on this.
Rough when you have 4-month off seasons.
Yeah.
And your new game just launched.
Yeah.
Right. Overwatch 2?
Yeah, what I watched too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, what do you do during off season? Do you like is Overwatch your main game and you don't want to touch anything else, or like what?
I would do other things, bits and pieces, but the thing that I've always struggled because I haven't been in talent for that long, right? So like Overwatch is my baby, that's what I know and I love, and I can talk about it forever, right? But I don't really know as many other scenes. I enjoy them casually, like Valorant, but it's kind of hard to do anything meaningful in any meaningful game anymore because it's hard to get your foot in the door. Or like they already have people who like lines of people, especially Valorant, they have talent out the door
Yeah.
that aren't even getting jobs. So I find it really hard to like do those types of things. I've done like a little bit of like World of Warcraft and other shit, but yeah, nothing meaningful.
Yeah. I'm always in the same boat. And also it feels weird. So for me, like I play a lot of fighting games. I enjoy it as like a personal hobby thing since I was growing up. But I'm like, I already know that there's a lot of people in the fighting game industry and it's already something that's like not paid well to be there to begin with. So it's like, oh, if I even try to get a job in this one, I'd be taking a position for someone else who's like dedicated themselves into the scene.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I suck.
Well, no, I mean, didn't you see Capcom Cup Street Fighter 6 for next year?
I love that.
$1 million prize
Yeah.
for I think first place. A $2 million prize pool, $1 million for first place.
Let's go.
For Capcom Cup next year. So basically, like all of these OG Street Fighter players are like coming out of the woodwork. Like, hold up, what? What the fuck? Get me in there. 'Cause-
Menardi the champ.
oh my god. Well,
Champ.
I ran into Tasty Steve, who's a Street Fighter
Love him.
commentator
Love
at
him.
an anime event the other day. And then I also ran into Zelina, who was a WWE wrestler,
Yeah.
and she's also, I guess, one of the in-game commentators for Street Fighter 6 because they added in like in-game casting,
That's
which
cool.
is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I don't think that it's going to beat out having actual casters, but I don't know. I'm pumped for fighting games. Project L is going to be coming out
Yeah.
soon.
I'm keeping an eye on that. Yeah, that looks exciting.
All right. I'm going to say some shit right now that I might get a talking to for.
Uh-oh.
But it's totally cool. So here's what I'm watching the most about Project L. Is we know that Riot operates as an entity that wants to have total control of their esports, right? Like the way that they franchised LCS, they're franchising Valorant. Like Riot exists with an iron grip over the games that they make. Hey,
Yeah.
it's their right. It's their IP. They're allowed to do that. The fighting game community is such a grassroots thing. It's such a local, community-driven, like, it's got roots deep in a way that other scenes, other communities don't. I'm very, very interested in the way that Riot handles it. Because I think
Yeah.
if Riot tries to do their iron grip thing, they'll instantly just throttle themselves. It's like you might as well just point the gun at your own leg and pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way out.
fighting games in general have really operated on open tournaments forever.
Yeah.
And you like the one time that I remember where they tried to make it an invitational tournament. This was like Turner Broadcast. It was like called E-League. I'm pretty sure it was. There was a huge. It was fun watching it, but there was a huge part of the community that hated it because it was an invitational only. So that would never run. Franchise invitational only kind of things. It's always going to be an open bracket tournament. Kind of like what we see from Evo and all that stuff. So that's good to look forward to. Just see how they act in that esports.
So I can even like pull back the curtain a little bit on some of like the invitational type of events.
Yeah.
Like when you have E-League or something, they're not the publishers directly. They're just trying to make a show that they can sell to sponsors and all this stuff. Ian, correct me if I say anything wrong here. But like when it comes to invitationals and stuff, you aren't inviting like the new up and comers with low social following.
Yeah.
You aren't inviting like maybe these two players that were big before, but now they're completely washed. Like you are only inviting the content creators, even if they're going to get knocked out in the first two
min-max.
Yeah,
rounds.
people watch it. Right?
Or like the people who have that competitive following and know that there are going to be competitive fans tuning in just to see them specifically. Like that's the issue with invitationals, because they just need to get as many eyeballs on them as possible to justify it to sponsors.
Yeah.
But if Riot was to say, similar to like how they've been doing their TFT events, or similar to how they're trying to do like their Challengers League right now, I have no idea what the fuck is happening with Runeterra. I'm just assuming that's dead. But with some of these different esports scenes, like even the Valorant Challengers esports scene that's kind of like coming up through grassroots, I do think that there's a solid possibility that they would have learned from some of the previous mistakes with being super iron grippy on League of Legends, like they've demonstrated with Valorant at least. So I have faith. I have like a little bit of faith in Project L and how Riot may be handling it, because I've heard some behind the scenes stuff, which makes me excited for it.
So what's different with Valorant in particular? Because I'm pretty sure they went franchise, but they don't say it's franchise.
Yeah.
They say it's
They
a
avoid the
partnership.
word like
Yeah.
the
They don't
plague. It
say-
is not franchising, but it is franchising,
Yeah.
right?
And I don't think it was a purchasable spot either. I think that the way that they're looking at it, there was no $10 million buy-in for a LCS spot or a $20 million buy-in for an even worse spot in another esport that no one would.
Imagine paying $30 million a year later.
Oh no! Aren't a bunch of teams like trying to sue Blizzard right now?
Yeah,
For the Overwatch
they're
League?
going with a majority of teams, which means 11 at the least, are doing a collective bargaining thing against. They've hired a law firm and they're going a collective bargaining against the Overwatch League. We don't know what that is or what it's doing, but there was an article about that
They
a month
probably
ago.
just want their money out.
Yeah, they
Does
probably want out,
Blizzard
yeah.
go under with that?
We don't know.
Who knows? But sorry, to answer your question, you asked what makes Valorant different from League of Legends. Yes, with their partnership that they're doing, because it's not franchising, you're not purchasing that spot. I kind of like what they did there because yes, Riot still has their grip onto who they're going to allow to play within the confines of their own league.
Yeah.
Things that they're putting money behind, things that they're putting faith in, like sponsors and, you know, huge opening ceremonies and all this different content behind.
Yeah.
Because by doing a very select, choosing a very select few to participate in the partnership, they're basically, carefully selecting like the good partners that they know are investing in the longevity of the league, compared to people who will, you know, throw in a good roster once, never throw in another good roster again, and then just hold on to the spot in hopes that 5 years down the line they could sell it.
Yeah. And so, like, that's the problem, though, still innately, if you have a partnership where you're saying, you guys are the good orgs, and the other orgs we don't really want to mess with, right? Because in the end of the day, that's like, in fighting games, I understand, like, so a lot of these issues when it comes up, and what E-League was trying to solve for and everything was, like, trying to put more money in the industry by saying, okay, now brands have a reliable kind of point to look at. So, like, a good example is, like, hey, you have this player that you are sponsoring, and they got knocked out much earlier than they would have expected, right, in the tournament, because everybody's pretty damn good and they can have a good game or a good day. And so, like, there are a lot of times you see a huge Evo tournament and they get knocked out like really early on, and there's not much you can do as a sponsor when you just want your player to be seen on camera. That's like your entire purpose and goal. So open tournaments a lot of the time makes that incredibly difficult to really get your brand noticed. Whereas, hey, if it's an invitational league, that gets to happen more often. So I think there's always going to be that clash between the community. Also me, I hate the idea of any invitational league for fighting games because that kind of breaches competition. In fact, with League of Legends, there are a lot of times where I'm like, God damn, I hate the fact that there's no relegation. There's no promotion relegation. For me, there are times where I'm like, fuck, if only there could be a challenge to that. Because you want the best teams to come in, even if you know that the org is not reliable. So that's always going to be a push and pull. So I'm looking forward to when that game comes out to see how they approach it because it has to be different.
I'm biting my tongue so much.
Yeah, you've just been looking at the camera smiling for the last.
The moment I said that, he was just like, I know which org you're talking about.
Don't say a team name. Don't say a team name.
Do you have any opinions on that, or?
Biting my tongue.
Well, I completely agree with everything Brad said about the fighting game.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, if franchising as a whole, I'm curious to see how the Valorant League comes out because, as you said, teams aren't buying in, and it seems like that gives Riot the freedom to pull someone out, right? And be like, if you're not investing, because I believe they're getting subsidized for investing or something like that.
Ah.
Okay, that's good.
If
yeah.
they're investing in the league, they get, you know, something back from Riot. So it's, you know, push pull because Overwatch League has the exact same issue with LCS, and I'm not gonna, you know, hold names. Like we have the Los Angeles Valiant, which is a team that I was actually on. They, at some point in 2020, they were like, we can't afford this, but we have the spot. We don't want to sell the spot because no one wants to buy it. We can't sell it without losing money. They literally just gave it to some Chinese organization, and that team just hired the worst roster ever. Like, yeah, and they didn't win a game. They were barely competing in maps. They weren't even like trying in the Eastern region. And we have a couple of teams, and you know, I'm sure the LCS is the same. In the Overwatch League, there is a massive disparity of what the top end is willing to spend on not just players, but investment, you know, advertising, trying to get that kind of investment compared to the bottom end. And it just sucks. And what that also does is it takes away from the tier 2 scene because even if you're hyper successful in the tier 2 scene as, you know, someone who's investing money, you can't make it to the Overwatch League. So your players just get poached. You lose all of your investment other than the buyouts that you get on those players. And then you have to start again, right? And then it's a money sink. And so the Overwatch League Tier 2 scene has struggled from that. And now we have a bunch of teams which are collectively bargaining to get out. And, you know, I've seen you guys have the same issues in the LCS with a pay-in franchise. I just don't think that model is good for esports. And I think the LCS and the Overwatch League has proven that. And that's why I'm excited about what the VCT is going to do. Like, what is your opinions on the way that they're doing the promotion and relegation system? They have 2 spots for the VCT that they're going to promote up to the Premier League from Tier 2. So if you win the Tier 2 league, you go up, but it's only for 2 years. So you're not permanently there. You're just there for a short period of time. And that's incentive for these organizations, but you're eventually going to go back down. And I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
That's really weird because I wish I actually had studied this a little bit more because it was different. So are there teams that are currently in partnership that are like, do they get relegated? Or is it only a promotion basis?
No, they don't get relegated.
Yeah.
But there are teams that will come up and down within the league. But if you've got a core acceptance at this point, and as I said, I'm not 100% fact proof on this.
I don't think any of us are.
But yeah, I believe that once you're in there,
Yeah.
then you can't get knocked out. And that's sort of incentivizing these teams to keep investing, right? Because
Yes.
you can't just get kicked out with one bad
That's
season.
true.
But I think that freedom for them to just pull a team out, if it's like you're not investing money, you don't have a competitive roster, we'll get someone else to do it.
I actually like that a lot. And it's really important on the execution because there's going to be a team that obviously is putting in a lot, gets promoted into the top league, is able to showcase to their fans, new fans, and to the league itself how much they're promoting it. And obviously people are going to make comparisons between them and probably the team that's investing the least.
Yeah.
And the execution is like, okay, do they get that spot over that team?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, if they get a permanent spot because they're showcasing clear investment, then it's like, okay, I actually like that system.
Yeah.
That system works then. Whereas, you know, if it doesn't happen because you're saying, oh, no, this is like basically the old boys club and we don't change no matter what, then the tier 2 leagues dies. So that's actually, I like that execution a lot if that happens.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty interesting strategy that they're going to take. And then I think now we just have to wait to see how it all plays out. Because I think at first everyone was super pumped about franchising for League of Legends too, because a lot of the orgs were still so, we still don't know the volatility of esports like Cloud9 or TSM. These were huge orgs, but still like no one in esports was like making money.
Yeah.
But one thing that I remember this kind of being a meme when Overwatch League franchising came out. Everyone, and I think I was part of them, even though I was young and had no idea about like larger implications, but like I think that Overwatch League with their franchising sent esports back like at least 5 years, because with overcharging like the $20 million for each spot, and because Overwatch League was a more accessible game than League of Legends, this is like, you know, pre-Fortnite and everything, because it was more accessible than League of Legends, more kids were into it. And because the kids were into it, their parents could like get a closer view into it. And their parents being the people who work at ESPN, work on the sports broadcasts, work on all of these different like corporations or like media companies and all this stuff. So that's where you saw all of the celebrities bringing their kids to the Overwatch League, right? And all of these celebrity kids like posting, oh, I love this person, I love this player, and getting a lot of hype behind that. But as soon as, you know, viewer numbers started to go down, and the glitz and glamour started fading away, and all the sponsors who were like, wait, I thought we were going to get like hundreds of thousands of consecutive viewers like we were getting for the first, you know, what was it, month or so?
Yeah, like we were getting consistently 100. Like honestly, the first year, 2018, we had great viewership, but like it was not sustainable, right? They were investing so much money. We were on Disney Plus, we were on ESPN, one of the ESPN channels. We had just like investment. We had really cool Twitch integration. Like we had a thing where you could, I don't know if League had this at some point, but you could watch whichever player's perspective you wanted in the game.
Oh, people would love that in League.
Command Center,
you could choose. Yeah, they charged you like $10 a month, you know, subscription type thing to the thing, and you had access, and you could watch it from any POV with the commentators still over, with everything going. Like it was, they had some really cool stuff.
That's really cool. League did have that for a little bit called ProView, but it was pretty bad.
Okay,
it was I'm gonna say it was pretty fucking bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and explain. ProView, I don't believe was the same thing. Like,
really?
What he's talking about sounds way evolved.
Yes.
What he's talking about was what ProView was supposed to be, but ProView went through so many behind-the-scenes iterations and was handed off to so many different like groups to try to. Everyone remembers the BAMTech deal, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Go
her.
look
I
up
remember.
BAMTech. We're not talking about it. No, we're not talking about it. But there's written articles about it, so just go look it up because I don't want to fucking talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Basically, it was just passed off to so many different things that what we got was kind of like this is the decent iteration. We were supposed to get, I think, something similar to what Overwatch League had.
Like the way I'm understanding this, like how you're describing it, it's like you're watching on Twitch or whatever, and if you have this Overwatch League extension, you can just say, oh, well, I really like what the Reinhardt player is doing right here. I want to watch him.
Yeah.
And so now you're just watching his point of view on Twitch.
Yep.
Think of it like a multi-view on Twitch that you can do right now, but they had it like formatted well so that you had all 12 players on the screen on like either side, and you could click that at any moment and you would start seeing their POV, and it would be like a seamless transition, right? It was crazy what they pulled off, right? And then it just went down and they never pulled it back because we went to fucking YouTube.
I don't think we had that ever on ProView.
But I'm just saying, ProView, the concept was literally that.
Yes.
And
Right, yeah, the concept was.
Yeah,
concept.
exactly. That's why I was like, we had that, and that's why it was bad, or at least literally the execution of it. China had something very similar, but yours is literally just better because like they had on their streaming platform, you could click the different things to go to those ProViews, but it would be a selected player from each team that the league would choose.
Oh, so that you didn't have freedom to watch, like, if you're a bot laner, oh, well, the support player is the person being highlighted. Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't like that at all, but it was like something. It was like a grain of sand that you're like, okay, we'll get it. We'll at least have this.
Yeah, it's better than normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to wrap up my point, I think that the overinflated value of the franchise spots really just fucked up esports a little bit, because all of the bigger kind of like media names and all the media parents and all these other different people who had eyes onto esports. Like, for example, I was flown out to the ESPN headquarters in Bristol, where I met with like their VP of digital. I met with all of these like, I don't know, big fancy title people, and all of them were asking me, they're like, hey, we hear that you're the esports person. How does ESPN get into esports? We really want to invest in Overwatch League and Fortnite, because Overwatch World Cup had just happened, and same with Fortnite. And I'm looking at them and I'm going like, totally understand the excitement behind both of those leagues, but hear me out. If you want something that's going to be a more solid footing for you to get your start, it's League of Legends. It's League of Legends or CSGO, because they're looking for that type of content, and they're like, Overwatch League.
Yeah. And here's the thing is, like, I completely understand it, and that's why I'm not surprised everybody hates us because you are like everyone does hate the Overwatch League, not just because I hate what they've done with the game and all that kind of stuff. Because you're completely right. Bobby has a lot of connections to a lot of people with a lot of money, and that's a reason why we have some of these like big names. We got Robert Kraft investing in one of the teams. We have a bunch of football teams investing in like things. He went and sold it to all these people, and they're like, there's been articles come out that like they barely even had to sell these people on like this $20 million investment. They just knew people, and they got people to pay to sign the check. And as you said, it was massively overinflated for the market. Yeah, we got good numbers, but then they were like, oh yeah, we're just going to keep growing. And then when it didn't keep growing, then we had this issue. And now, we were talking about this before we started the podcast. There's not a lot of people trying to invest in esports right now. And it's probably because of these massive failures by, the Overwatch League, where it's like people just lost a ton of money. No one has made any money in the Overwatch League, especially Blizzard. And now it's really just keeping the lights on because sunk cost fallacy, right? Everyone's put so much money in. What else are we going to do? We're not just going to leave. So, yeah.
But let me tell you about the exception to the rule, because right now FlyQuest is very committed to putting out the best content out there. Not only the best content, but the best team out there.
Y'all motherfuckers lost to TSM.
Oh, rough.
You know what? They needed a win. And we do a lot of environmental sustainability work, so consider that charity.
True. In fact, I just saw on Instagram that FlyQuest has already slammed a record by week 4, have hit their FlyQuest mark that they took an entire year last year to hit. So good job, FlyQuest. Oh, they planted a ton of trees.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder what changed.
they
They're
imported
players.
a top 5
Yeah.
player in the world.
Yeah, the players are getting
Top
killed.
5 content creator in the world. Thank you so much.
Wait, Mr. Beast works for FlyQuest?
Wait, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I know exactly what changed.
You're sitting
Yeah.
on my couch right now in my house. You could at least throw me a fucking bone.
Hey, Avali, I heard it was a good week for porn for you.
Oh my god. Do you guys want to see?
No, not
really.
Even a little, not remotely.
How was that segue of a good week of porn for Avali?
Yeah.
Oh, she has. It's an Aniplex bag too.
So,
I thought it said Niplex.
I
I didn't see that. I was like, what is? I was like, what is Niplex?
That's
well, I'm
amazing.
gonna
Is it
tell
just
you.
a booby in a box?
what's coming out of this box?
Only
If
the
Diplex
best-
is showing you
only the
some
best
rated
thing
R
ever.
content.
So I was at a industry event. It was the at least the USA premiere of the newest episode of Demon Slayer season 3 to Swordsmith Village. Really fucking amazing. I highly recommend everyone go watch the first episode on Crunchyroll when it comes out. If you thought that the last 2 episodes of season 2 of Demon Slayer, the fight between Tengen and that you watched it, right?
The blood guy.
I watched it all in one night. I literally stayed up until like 7 a.m. watching it. Yeah.
You have to watch it. They did it in 4K now. You have to watch it in 4K.
The Spider Girl and the Blood Brother.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider Girl?
So she's not really.
Oh
but
no, that's
we'll
first
give it
season.
to
You're
Rex.
thinking of first season.
No, second season. She has like the
Ducky. Yeah.
So you were at
yeah,
you were at this event.
Sorry.
So I'm at the event, and my friend, my girl, Lauren, I love you. Shout out to you. She works with Aniplex, and
What's Aniplex for those who don't know?
Aniplex is just a.
Aniplex.
There you go. It's basically.
What was
I
that, man?
That didn't give any extra context.
What?
You just said the name.
I don't know any more than I did when I asked the
It's
question.
the jingle.
Yeah, it's their thing.
It's the jingle. I don't know if they're technically like. Maybe they're the publisher.
Okay.
I think they're the
'cause they're not a
publisher.
It's like a
studio.
production
Yeah.
company.
Yeah,
it's,
they're
it's
the
like the
publisher.
Universal Globe or that lion
Yeah,
that goes roar.
Fox,
That's
20th
okay.
century, type thing. And so when we were going through our sad times, we would just watch the same yaoi over and over again. And I would put it on Instagram because it was my favorite, right? I love it. It's called Dakaichi. So good. Highly
She's
recommend
putting it on
It's on
repeat.
Crunchyroll. It's so good. Episode 3. And so basically she's like, oh girl, I think I have some Dakaichi merch in the office. And I went, Lauren, what? And so basically she ran up to me at this industry event where there are producers from Japan, all of the official voice actors, all of these big influencer people. And she runs up to me and she goes, oh my gosh, Avali, I've got it for you. The Dakaichi movie that has not been released anywhere in English yet. I didn't even know that it officially came out in Japan because it was supposed to originally come out in 2021, but it was delayed due to COVID. You will not touch it. No one has touched this except for me. So basically, this movie covers when Takato and Junta go to Spain so that Takato can learn how to flamenco dance because he's going to be in a movie. And Junta is also half Spanish. So what they don't know is they end up going to Junta's hometown. And so we get all of this. They both learn how to dance, and there's also like passion and love and oranges, and I'm so fucking excited to watch it.
So you have to go to Spain to learn flamingo dancing.
Yeah, close enough. We got there.
What are you gonna say, Flowers?
I said I want to leave.
Episode's almost over, Flowers.
I love how the big thing she was excited for, with all those voice actors and writers and going to this publisher and everything, was just more anime porn. This is what
a
her
woman who's afraid of MILF Manor.
Yeah, that is weird.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
double standards right there.
These things seem juxtaposed, don't
Yeah,
Yes, she's fine with sword fighting, but not when they're old and real.
yeah.
You know what? Listen, I'll take a DILF manor. I'd even take a GILF manor. Something about moms trying to bang their sons.
I mean, it's pretty much gilfs. They're grandmas.
well, but like each other's sons, that
Yeah.
doesn't feel good. Like the fact that you are looking in the eyes of another woman and then you want to look at the penis attached to the thing that came out of that same woman. Boundaries, you know?
Right back from the
I
start.
draw boundaries. Even with some of the anime that I watch, I draw boundaries.
That's it. That's the line.
The origin story.
What boundaries do you draw in anime?
In anime,
Yeah.
I don't think there are boundaries in anime. You know, well, okay. Maybe I don't. I'm not going. Let me put it this way. I'm not watching whatever that's called. That my boundaries are before that.
Because you're homophobic.
No, because that's
True.
just not what I'm looking. True. Yeah, sure.
Facts. I've realized growing up, I will say this. As a teenager, I just didn't have really any boundaries. Because one of my favorite shows.
Say it out loud.
Excited.
Say it out loud.
She just waited for someone else to say something worse.
Huh?
Say it out loud.
No, I'm just saying Bakemonogatari.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Boku no Pico.
Hell no! Look, we do not watch Boku no Pico.
Man, I don't watch.
We do
anime.
not
Me
watch
neither,
Boku no
really.
Pico.
I got nothing.
I
Say-
used to watch Toonami back in the day. Like I watched Dragon
Flowers?
Ball.
Yeah.
I watched Yu Yu Hakusho.
Dude, I love Vegeta.
Like
Flowers?
that stuff. I don't know what any of this.
Flowers,
Could
Wes
you
is talking.
say in the microphone, I love Boku no Pico?
Not a goddamn
I will
chance
pay
I
you
won't.
$10.
Nope. There's
$50.
No. The fact that you even offered $50 tells me, Raz, that this is beyond fucked. I'm not doing it.
But yeah,
Fuck Boku no Pico.
All right. Well, now that Ian reminded me that I do have this on me, I kind of want to watch it. So I think this is time to end the podcast, right? What are we time-wise, Ian? We're good on time? Ian says we're good on time. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, buddy. It was
Thank
good
you
having
so
you.
much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. I wish I could have got some more warning about what I was walking into, but honestly, going in blind was good.
Did you not ask your fiance?
Well, yeah, but like, you know, I know that's the way you are, and then, you know, that's how you guys can be, but I wasn't expecting that to come out on a podcast. You know, that's not what you always expect people to publicly push out into the world. But honestly, respect.
What did you
I didn't know
expect
your
when I
game, but
Game recognized game. Come on.
I know, poor you. I'm like, oh, you know who would be great to have on as a guest? I'm like, Scott, I'm going to go ahead and send him a little message. Hey, Scott, do you want to come on the podcast? And you're like, sure, I'll check with my D&D group if we can reschedule.
I know I'm such an innocent person. I'm like, oh, let me check on my D&D group. And now I'm talking about porn on a Monday.
Yep. Yep.
The thing is, though, I feel like if you go back and tell Saab, she'd agree.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely.
Tell everyone about the time where I kicked you, though.
Oh, no, there's a good gif of that.
There's
But
a
yeah,
very good
you were eating peanut butter with a banana in a onesie and kicking me away from you as I yelled at Hex, our one producer, to close the show and send us to break.
That's
So-
amazing.
That wraps it all together for you.
I was dressed as Winston in a monkey onesie, and I had the jar of peanut butter in one hand and then a banana in the other. And the bit was just supposed to be, it was like, okay, Hex, I'm just going to keep eating and then cut whenever you want. It's like, cut whenever you want. Let me just fill my face. And so we'll go, I am Winston. I am Winston. And it's still staying on me. So I'm like, all right, I'm Winston. I'm like, I'm going to finish this fucking banana. And so I'm eating this banana and peanut butter. Scott and Johnny are now going like, oh God. So then Scott's like, here, I'll take it. Cut. You're trying to end the bit, which I love and I respect it.
Trying to help.
He's trying to help. But then I go like, I am Winston. And I put my foot on him. And I'm like, hopefully not kicking him actually, but I'm like, kind of like making distance.
Did she kick you?
Oh yeah, I got kicked.
She was actually kicking
Oh,
you.
there
Okay.
it is.
It wasn't a heavy kick, but it was a stay the fuck away from my banana kick kind of.
And immediately after that show, I texted Saab and I'm like, I'm just going to tell you right now. If Scott comes home to you and there's a woman's footprint on his chest, it was from me.
Oh my god.
And don't forget, you can subscribe to Patreon for more of that foot shit. Like,
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Twitter.com/Costa, Twitch.tv/Costa. That's the main two things that I use. So yeah, come check me out.
Hell yeah, watch his streams.
Or watch the Overwatch League, please. We need it.
Same.
If
Watch LCS, watch the Overwatch.
You got
You get
LCS
all-
on a weekday, Overwatch on the weekend. So there
Perfect.
you
That's
go.
the perfect thing. What should they spam in the YouTube chat?
Winton Jump, please bring back Ovally. There you go.
Absolutely. We will make our reunion together. Maybe not after I said the Overwatch
Yeah,
thing
no,
about diversity. But
I'm
who
not even
knows?
sure if I'm coming back at this point.
Well, anyways, thanks for watching Caster's Couch. Yeah, follow all of our socials, and we'll see you next time.
see ya.
Subscribe, motherfuckers.